The government says that the National Rurban Mission is aiming to provide a better quality of life and employment in villages. And this urban development, Gujarat model urban development progress will provide the urban amenities in the rural areas. A decade old central scheme introduced by the UPA government for providing urban amenities in the rural areas, PURA, providing urban amenities in the rural areas, a brainchild of APJ Abdul Kalam and Dr. Manmohan Singh, is now replaced by Gujarat's urban model across India. And the government has also started making allocation for this particular scheme. The government will replicate the Gujarat model at the national level. And Gujarat has demonstrated successfully the urban development model of urbanization of the rural areas. So Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Rurban Mission will be launched to deliver integrated project-based infrastructure in the rural areas. The objective of PURA was to provide urban amenities and the livelihood opportunities. The objective of the PURA was to provide urban amenities and the livelihood opportunities in the rural areas and to bridge the rural-urban divide, thereby reducing the migration from the rural to urban areas. This included providing physical connectivity through the construction of roads, electronic connectivity by internet, and knowledge connectivity by establishing professional and technical institutions in an integrated way so that the economic activity would emanate. However, barring sanitation projects in the few states,
रर्बन का सीधा सीधा अर्थ है रूरल अर्बन दोनों को मिला दिया रर्बन, जिसका मतलब है कि विकास ऐसा हो जिसकी आत्मा गांव की हो और सुविधा शहर की। 25, 30, 40 हजार की जनसंख्या की सुविधा के लिए एक क्लस्टर अप्रोच से ये रर्बन मिशन को लागू किया जा सकता है। पूरे देश में ऐसे 300 रर्बन सेंटर खड़े करने की कामना से अभी काम प्रारंभ किया है। इस वर्ष 100 ऐसे रर्बन क्लस्टर खड़े करने की कल्पना है, जिसका विकास शहर बनने वाला है वो ध्यान में रखा जाएगा, लेकिन उसके अंदर का जो गांव है, दिल में जो गांव का भाव है, उसको जिंदा रखने के लिए पूरा प्रयास होगा।
The scheme never took off to its full potential because of the lack of convergence between various ministries. Now an expert committee has been appointed, and Deen Dayal Research Institute at Chitrakoot in Madhya Pradesh and Periyar in Tamil Nadu and Loni in Maharashtra. These models have been studied, and now the mission Rurban seeks to lay thrust on integrated project-based infrastructure in the rural areas and provide for income generation avenues and the skill development avenues. In the first phase of the Rurban, rupees 100 crore will be sent in the 3 identified projects. First project will be Warangal district in Andhra Pradesh, second will be Sangli and Buldhana district of Maharashtra. And this urban population, which is becoming non-manageable because of intense rural migration. You can simply imagine that from Gorakhpur railway station, 6,000 train tickets are taken out at its peak to go to Delhi. So the city infrastructure is crumbling because of the demographic dividend in search of livelihood. A large amount of youth population who have no employment, they are migrating intensely towards the urban areas in search of any work. And we also know that because of the fudging of data, this thing has not come out, but according to the leaks of the National Statistics Bureau, the unemployment rates are already at the 45 years low. Unemployment rates are already at 45 years low. In 2011, the urban population was 377 million, or 31% of the total population. At the time of independence, it was 62 million, or 17% of the total population. But in 2011, the urban population was 377 million, or 31% of the total population. By 2025, it will become 42.5% of the population. So the Ministry of the Rural Development lays emphasis on linking the Rurban mission with the e-governance and achieving the targets in a time-bound manner. The best practices of the cooperatives, NGOs and other sectors can be dovetailed into the scheme, and the lack of the basic amenities and the lack of jobs in the rural areas, which are responsible for the problem like extremism and migration. The Rural Development Ministry alone runs 28 schemes for the welfare of the poor people, but despite their conditions have not improved. So it is the time to remodel into a new scheme called as Rurban. What Rurban will do will address one of the biggest challenges. How? Imagine a big city in the middle having a large number of villages surrounding these big cities. So a very prime land will be chosen, which will be in middle of this big metropolis city and a small village. Say for example, one highway connecting with a big metropolis and passing through 100 villages. A land will be developed on both sides of this highway, and all kinds of industries will be incentivized to come and work here. So the village's youth will gather during the daytime to work in this particular special economic zone, and they will return by the evening to their respective villages, and thereby not entering the city or overcrowding it.
इस क्लस्टर्स को विकसित करने का वन ऑफ द इम्पॉर्टेंट सबमिशंस जो है वो इंटीग्रेटेड क्लस्टर एक्शन प्लान्स है जो राज्य सरकार बनाते हैं. सेवरल आरडी डिपार्टमेंट्स में जो नोडल ऑफिसर्स हैं वो करते हैं इस काम को. ग्राम सभास के कंसल्टेशन के बाद ही ये आई कैप्स बनती है, और उसमें क्लस्टर्स में क्या क्या डेफिशिएंसीज़ है वो निकल के आते हैं, और इसमें ब्रॉड इन्वेस्टमेंट्स जो है वो आइडेंटिफाई होती है इंटीग्रेटेड क्लस्टर एक्शन प्लान में. और ये आई कैप्स जो है सेवरल राउंड्स ऑफ अप्रूवल्स लेते हैं इसको. पहले ग्राम सभा अप्रूव करती है, फिर उसके बाद डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर्स, उसके बाद वो स्टेट लेवल पे अप्रूव होके फिर हमारे पास आते हैं मिनिस्ट्री में. फिर हम इसको एग्जामिन करते हैं एम्पावर्ड कमेटी में, जहाँ पर सेक्रेटरी चेयर करते हैं, और इसको और काफ़ी एक्सपर्ट्स और मिनिस्ट्रीज़ के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स रहते हैं, और उसको हम रिव्यू करके फिर इसकी अप्रूवल्स देते हैं आई कैप्स के.
और सब
Such large number of satellite special economic zones will be made in and around the city, and each space that will be marked in and around the city will cover at least 100 to 500 villages, where all infrastructure and industrial amenities will be developed, so that the startups will find it very easy to start their small MSME business. This will also provide the ease of doing business. And when the businesses will come in this space, in these special economic zones, then the rural people will migrate to these places and to and forth from the day till the night, and the corresponding pressure will be reduced on the megalopolis or the main city. For understanding this in a better way, you have to think of Delhi, which is surrounded by such a large number of satellite special economic zones such as Gurgaon, Faridabad, Palwal, Noida. And if these satellite cities would have not been there, then Delhi would have become more overcrowded. Already it is the most overcrowded, most polluted city of the world. But if these particular satellite cities would have not been there, the things would have become worse. So, model village clusters will be made. And these model village clusters, they will have a urban center between the main city and this cluster of villages. And these urban centers will have all the basic infrastructures to start an industry, where the entrepreneurs will start and the village people will come and go to and forth. To understand this model, you have to look now at the screen. So you can see here.
इसमें खासियत ये है कि इस क्लस्टर्स की जो चयन है उसके लिए काफ़ी हमने मेहनत की यहाँ पर. जब प्रधानमंत्री चाह रहे थे कि ये क्लस्टर्स की चयन एक साइंटिफिक मेथडोलॉजी से अडॉप्ट किया जाए इस क्लस्टर्स की चयन के लिए, तो बहुत मेहनत करने के बाद हमने एक क्लस्टर चयन मेथडोलॉजी इवॉल्व किए यहाँ पर। और इस मेथडोलॉजी की खासियत ये है कि ये कठिन है, लेकिन एट द सेम टाइम ये राज्य सरकार के लोगों ने काफ़ी इसको engaged रूप में इसे they made it possible to select the clusters, and in this way we have selected 300 clusters across the country.